Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Talk Fantasy Football. I'm your host for tonight. My name's Nick Walsh, and we're here for a special early week edition. It's Tuesday night, but you know what? Fuck it. We're going to preview the games because it's Thanksgiving, and there's 3 of them on Thursday, and we don't want to do it later in the week because we're going to be doing other shit. So you know what? We're doing it now, and it's extra special because for the first time in a while, I'm here with 2, not 1, but 2 of my lovely co-hosts. First, I'm here with Vinny Gonzalez. Vinny, what's going on, dude?
Nothing much, Walsh. I'm glad you went to me first because the guy that's here now, I really don't care for.
Oh, dude, I was going to you first because I was saving the best for last. The other gentleman joining us tonight is none other than the DON, Don Chrisman. Don, what is going on, dude?
Walsh, my man. I'm so glad to be back.
Well, it's good to have you back, dude. We got a lot of stuff to get to. There's not any buys this week, right?
Yeah.
There's some next week.
Isn't that weird? There's no buys this week, and then there's, I think, 2 next week, and it's just the Titans and Browns, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely weird.
Oh, yeah. Now I know to play Jimmy Graham next week.
There you go, Don. You've seen the light.
Congratulations.
I won't complain next week.
You might.
Yeah, you'll probably still find something to complain about. I mean, we'll see.
Jimmy Graham puts up a 5 spot.
Should have just played Delaney Walker even in the bye.
All right, guys. Well, before we get too far off the rails here, I just want to let everyone know that we are sponsored by No Halftime. The No Halftime app isn't your typical fantasy sports service. Woo, I can talk. You get to create one-on-one fantasy matchups, and you can use the code LTFF100 for a 100% deposit bonus. All right, guys, there's a ton of games this week. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it with the first Thanksgiving game. We're opening up Thanksgiving with Minnesota at Detroit. This is likely going to be pretty low scoring. The over-under's only 43 points. Detroit's a slight favorite. Don, talk to me about the Minnesota side of the ball because they don't really have too many plays. Is there anyone that you're looking to roll out this week, knowing that Steph Diggs did miss practice today?
Yeah, so Diggs did miss practice, and this is a big game. Both 6-4. Detroit actually is leading our division here, and Detroit always plays on Thanksgiving, so they always play tough. Minnesota side of the ball, actually, I like Kyle Rudolph this week. I think he's someone that you should start. If Detroit has a hole in their defense of all, it would be tight ends. I think they've given, I think they're the bottom 8 with tight ends. So they're kind of always on the weak spot with that. So I think Kyle Rudolph, especially if Diggs is hurt, that's going to be the man that is going to be getting more passes. So look for Diggs. And also I'm okay with it if you're in a deeper league. If you need to play Asiata, he seems to have a pretty decent floor. So those are the 2 guys I'm looking to roll.
Okay, fair enough. Vinny, do you agree, disagree? Any other names you want to throw out there?
No, that was pretty good. The only thing is if Stephon Diggs is a go, do you guys have a problem playing him? Because I'm in a similar situation, and I'm heavily considering sitting him. The Lions' defense has been getting better as of late.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs, when he suffered that groin injury, was pretty bad for 3 weeks straight. So him missing practice 2 days straight is a little rough for me.
I think I'd still be playing him. He's just been getting so much volume outside of this past week when Patrick Peterson shadowed him for most of the game. So, I mean, I think if he goes, you got to play him. I think if he doesn't go, I'm wondering if Adam Thielen might kind of step into that slot role that Diggs is occupied and maybe get a lot of volume. So I think if you're a Diggs owner and you're kind of desperate, it's not the worst play in the world to just pick up Thielen as a safety, as a safety move. And if Diggs doesn't go, just roll Thielen in that spot.
Yeah, I like that call a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. On the Detroit side of the ball, it's we know that Minnesota's a tough defense, but they've been pretty vulnerable against the running back as of recent. I believe the last 4 weeks they've given up big games every week to the running back. What do you guys think about? Let's start with Theo Riddick. What do you think about him? And again, he was limited in practice this week. Missed some of that game this past weekend because he was hurt. He kind of was out for a little while and then came back in, but he wasn't really effective. I don't know. It's tough to gauge. What do you think there, Vinny?
I think Theo Riddick's a must play every single week. That dude averages like 8 to 10 targets a game and is a pretty big focal point of that offense. Like we've seen the wide receivers kind of dip out recently, like Golden Tate and Marvin Jones. Their production is way down, and the Lions have picked it up with Theo Riddick and Eric Ebron as of late. So I really like Riddick. I think he's a great play every single week. And I know I touched on a lot of that stuff, but I think Ebron's a great play too. I know he had a rushing touchdown, which was weird as fuck last week, but he's had a very nice floor and is pretty heavily targeted this season by Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I think like his last 4 weeks have been pretty high too. Eric Ebron. That was someone I was just going to bring up too. I think the tight ends on both sides are like the big plays this week. I think both of them are going to have a really good week. And I agree with Vinny on Theo Riddick. Theo Riddick actually had a decent game. Especially with PPR, looking at PPR format against Minnesota the first time this year. So I think you roll out both of those guys for sure.
That's fair. I think if for whatever reason Riddick's health doesn't doesn't go this week, which I mean I would think he would, but if he doesn't, again, Dwayne Washington is a guy you can play. Running backs have done pretty well against the Vikings. I agree with you on Ebron, and I agree that you can't play the wide receivers. Bolden led them in targets this past week with 9. Tate had 4, Jones had 3. That was against a tough defense, but I mean, like, what are you really doing there?
Yeah, and their catch rate is way down. Like they're not snagging all the targets that they're getting to.
Yeah, and it's worth noting too that the Vikings, while they've been very good against wide receivers, they're giving up roughly 7. They're averaging 7.7 catches and 67 yards per game, giving up to the tight end. So I mean that's pretty decent production for tight ends. Ebron makes for a good play there. Who you guys got here?
I'm going to take Minnesota.
I'm going to go Detroit.
I'm also going to go Detroit. And then moving on to the second game of the week, we've got Washington at Dallas.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a really fun one, I think. We'll start on the Washington side of the ball. What do you think about Fat Rob? Is he a guy that you're looking to roll this week in a game where they're a 7-point dog? Don, I'll start with you.
Whew. That's a good question. I think no. Dallas's run defense has been very good. I say you sit the running backs for Washington this week. I just like the receiving core more because Dallas's secondary is nowhere near as good as their run defense. So I'm going to sit Fat Rob.
I'm rolling him out hard, and I'm not even thinking twice about it.
Okay. I'd lean towards sit, but Cousins I think is a must start. I don't know which wide receiver I want to start. Crowder keeps producing, but he only had 3 targets this week, and that's not good. Is there a guy that you like out of the wide receivers, or are you kind of just whack-a-moling it?
No, I'm going Crowder all day, baby.
Yeah,
he was last in targets this past week.
Yeah, whatever.
You still got to look at what Crowder's been doing.
Pretty fucking sexy all year.
Yeah, he's had the best floor and ceiling out of all the receiving options this entire year for the Redskins. So I have no problem with Crowder as an every week starter at all.
All right, that's certainly fair. Obviously, you're rolling Jordan Reed out there, and then. Is there anyone else? No. We said Kirk, do you guys agree with the must play for him?
Yeah, I do. I know we shit talked him a little bit in the beginning of the year, but Kirk has been great. You could have played him every single week as your starting QB, and he's done fine. Done really good in some cases too.
Yeah. Also, what do you guys think about Vernon Davis? He's had.
No.
I don't buy that shit for a second.
I mean, other than last week, he's had some pretty decent production.
I don't think you can trust. He's what? If we're talking about Reed, Jackson, Garcon, and Crowder, he's the 5th passing option in that offense. Maybe against Green Bay, sure, even though it didn't work out, but against Dallas, a team that slows the ball down, there's just not enough targets to go around. So if we like Davis, we have to not like some other guys, I feel like. I don't know, but it's tough. Maybe if you're real.
Because obviously, you got people looking at production between Philly, 4 targets, over 50 yards and a touchdown. Against Detroit, you're looking at 6 targets, 79 yards. You're looking at Cincy, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 93 yards. Minnesota, he even had 3 targets, 66 yards, and a touchdown. So, I mean, people are looking at it. I mean, that's pretty good production other than against Green Bay. So,
Yeah, but a couple of those weeks, I mean, Jordan Reed was out, Deshaun Jackson was out. I don't know. I find it tough to trust, but I mean, if it's there's certainly like the upside is there. So I mean, if you're looking for upside, it's definitely there.
yeah.
On the Cowboys side, Zeke is the best play of the week, right? Like overall.
You just can't not sit. You can't sit Zeke at all ever.
No, but your expectations can be sky high. All the Cowboys do is run with this dude. And Zeke is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, he proved that last week against a very tough Baltimore run defense, and they were still just running the shit out of him.
Yeah, absolutely. In the pass game, Dak has had a really solid floor even in bad matchups. Are you looking to start him this week, Vinny?
Yeah, especially after seeing what people have done to the Redskins defense. Like they have great name players like Josh Norman, Ryan Kerrigan, but I'm still rolling them out there. They've been vulnerable to fantasy points no matter what.
And does Norman scare you on Dez is the other question. Dez has been great recently, but I think I'm a little bit scared of that matchup.
Yeah, I think that they have enough weapons where Dez could maybe be kind of a decoy with Norman, but the way Dez has been playing and the way that he could just catch a touchdown out of nowhere, like when they get down to the goal line or something like that, I still think he's a guy you got to get into your lineup no matter what.
Yeah, I'm still rolling Dez.
Fair enough. I'm looking at Beasley and Witten. The Redskins defense has been vulnerable against like the middle of the field targets. I think they're both interesting starts as guys who can probably have some pretty decent floors. Are you guys on them or not really about it?
No, I'm on that. Washington, another team that's given up quite a bit of points to tight end. I think they're 8th worst. So I'm cool with Witten. And I think Beasley's been very solid with a solid floor too. So I like playing all those guys actually.
I'm a little off Witten, but I do like the Cole Beasley play a lot.
It's worth noting Witten has 25 targets over the past 3 weeks, so he is being used a lot. But yeah, all right, I'm taking Dallas here. Don, who you got?
Ooh, let's give Skins an upset win.
Ooh,
Ooh-wee.
Ooh-wee!
Oh God.
I love Kirk Cousins. You know what? For that, I'm going to go Redskins, man.
All right. I mean, I'll be rooting for it. I like Cousins a lot too. All right, and then the last Thanksgiving game, Pittsburgh at Indianapolis. This one was like basically just like raring to go for like just back and forth fantasy shootout, like exactly what we want from all the players. And then Andrew Luck has a concussion. We don't know if he's going to play. The Colts are keeping pretty quiet about it. If he doesn't go, we're likely going to see Scott Tolzien. No one wants to see Scott Tolzien.
No.
It's
pretty bad for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the only person that I feel like it doesn't affect is Le'Veon Bell, who, was an obvious play anyway. So talk to me, Vinny, talk to me about Roethlisberger, Brown, and then any other Steelers receivers you may be interested in.
I always hate playing Roethlisberger away. For some reason, it's a real thing that he always fucks up somehow. But he is a good play against that awful, awful Colts defense. And Antonio Brown is always a good play no matter what. And, yeah, Le'Veon Bell is going to be an excellent play. They used the shit out of him in that Browns game, and I think they're going to keep leading that way. Unless they want to – now they're not going to rest him at all. This is a pretty big game. So I think Bell's going to have a huge day.
Don, is there anyone else in that pass game you're looking to target, whether it's Ladarius Green or Eli Rogers or that sort of thing?
I don't know if I go Eli Rogers, but Ladarius Green against Indy. Indy's another team that's not good against tight ends as well, so I'd be kind of enticed with Ladarius Green for a nice little spin.
Interesting. I mean,
It's
he's
a hell of
certainly
a spin.
Yeah, I mean, he's not getting the full snaps yet, so I don't know if I would trust him. I think Eli Rogers is interesting. I mean, the Colts defense is garbage. Rodgers has been getting like 6 or more targets most weeks. I think I could deal with him as kind of if you're kind of desperate at wide receiver. So then on the Indy side, this is really hard to say because if Luck's healthy, we like Luck, we like Gore, we like Hilton, we like Moncrief. So for the sake of argument, if Luck's not healthy, who do you want to play on the team?
I'm still playing Frank Gore.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gore is definitely the safest there.
I think he's like the safest player of the year.
Frank Floor, dude.
Frank Floor, indeed.
Me and Shrek coined it last week. It's sticking. Frank Floor. But I don't even know if he has that floor without Luck. That's the thing.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh's run D is not the best either, though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the whole offense is going to suffer. I don't know. I don't know if I trust Frank's Floor.
Dude, Frank Floor, that's his nickname. Frank Floor, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. What about Hilton and Moncrief? No. What about Hilton and Moncrief? What do you think there, Don?
I think that if Luck's not there, I'm not very enticed. I think I'd kind of rather play Moncrief.
Really?
Oh, I think the complete opposite. T.Y. Hilton is going to be
play Hilton.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton's going to be moving around. They're going to throw the short stuff to him, and hopefully he can break something and at least see a lot of targets on quick passes, get some catches for you there with the floor. Moncrief is going for the bigger plays and the touchdown, so I do not feel safe with him at all. I lean Hilton big time on that.
Scott Tolson's just going to sling.
Moncrief also doesn't really catch touchdowns from anyone except for Luck. And he's a very touchdown reliant guy. He doesn't really get over 70 yards in a game. So I don't know. I think Moncrief's a tough one. Let's pick. I mean, it's so tough to pick this one with not knowing Luck. So I don't know. Don, who you got?
Can we call a draw? I'm going to call a tie.
All right.
Okay, that might be the first time that's ever happened.
Thursday night tie. Yeah, way to
go,
Don.
Sorry, I will take. I'm gonna go. Fuck, you got to go Steelers on this. I think.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna go Steelers.
We should have just swept the tie.
I can take mine back. I'll sweep the shit out of it.
Yeah, fuck it. We're all picking a tie for this game. All right. That does it for the Thanksgiving games. It should be a fun day of football. I really hope Luck plays so that last game is more fun. San Diego at Houston is the first Sunday game we're going to talk about here. San Diego is a 1-point favorite on the road. But Houston showed they've really been showing all year. They're a tough matchup for pass games in particular. Don, what do you think about your boy Phillip in this matchup? Is he still a start for you 2 weeks after throwing 4 picks against Miami of all
No,
teams?
Phillips. Houston's secondary is very good, dude. Intrigued with anyone with San Diego other than Melvin Gordon. It's the only one that I would feel comfortable with playing at the San Diego side.
Yeah, I agree with Donald there. Just Melvin Gordon for me too. I would probably sit everybody else.
Even Tyrell Williams?
Yes. I mean, they basically shut down Cooper and Crabtree. I know Cooper got away for that long touchdown, but they're like 2 of the best in the league, and they held them in check for most of that night. So I'm not going to bank on anything Tyrell Williams is going to bring.
Okay, that's fair. I think I would play Gates. He's gotten 9 targets a game for the past 4 games, even with Hunter Henry back. And he's Phillips' favorite red zone target. So I think you can play Gates, but yeah, I think I'm cool with sitting the rest of them. It's worth noting that Travis Benjamin is likely going to be back for this game. So that's going to siphon off some targets from what Tyrell Williams was getting. Houston side of the ball, they didn't look terrible last night on offense. They looked better than they have been. Osweiler still had that one hilarious play where he threw a pass in right on the goal line and it got batted back and he caught it and then was immediately tackled for a 6-yard loss. So he's
like the new Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, he pretty much is. I think you're right.
That's a good call, Don. I like that a lot.
Yeah, he's just hilariously inept in many cases.
He actually pisses. He's my second least favorite quarterback.
I know who your least favorite is.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Aaron Rodgers. So what do you think here? I think Miller's a play for sure, and I don't really know outside of that. Don, do you have an opinion?
Just play the running backs in this game. Only people we want to play are Melvin Gordon and Lamar Miller.
That's pretty fair. Vinny?
Oh, man. I think I would still play Hopkins because I'm a sucker.
Dude, shut up. No way. DeAndre Hopkins, you put on that motherfucking bench. Fuck you, Brock Osweiler.
Don, if he would have been ruled inbounds like I think he was on that play, you would have been saying a different tune right now.
Not true, dude. It's been very depressing.
You're full of shit. I would still play Hopkins, and I hope he goes off on your bench, Don.
Then he goes off on my bench. I don't know what to tell you. Don't play.
I think he's playable. I don't think he's a must play. So it depends on what you've got around him. Is there still any interest in CJ Fedorowicz or as a streamer?
He's a low end wide receiver 3, Hopkins. That one touchdown doesn't change anything.
Okay. Sorry, Don. You ignored Walsh's Fedorowicz question.
I'm sorry. I'm mad.
For what it's worth, I wouldn't play Fedorowicz.
Okay.
But that even pissed me off even more. I saw like 3 targets right away to Fedorowicz. I'm like, okay, Brock Osweiler's going to throw to a guy called Fedorowicz and not to DeAndre Hopkins. Makes a lot of
Fedorowicz has been good, man.
Yeah, I think
Fedorowicz.
I even think he's a good play, man. He's had like a pretty solid floor of 7 targets a game.
Listen, man, it's not about your athletic ability. It's about your last name.
That's true. I mean, is Hopkins a better name, Don?
Yeah, it's better than Fedorowicz.
Objective analysis from Don Chrisman. Let's get the fuck off this game. I'm taking Houston. I'm taking Houston.
Nah, bolt up, dude. Chargers.
Would it be bad to say I throw another tie in there?
Go for it, Don. Don's on a tie streak, baby.
Multiple ties. All right.
I'm gonna do another tie.
All right, let's move on to Tennessee at Chicago. Even on the road, Tennessee's a 3.5-point favorite here. Jay Cutler has torn his labrum. They're saying he is out for the season. It's going to be the Matt Barkley show. Let's hold off on the Bears, though. Let's talk about the Titans. I think it's like the play your normal Titans. Am I wrong there, Vinny?
No, I completely agree. You're playing Mariota. And like we talked about,
Richard Matthews.
I'm getting to that, Don. Don't interrupt. But yes, you are correct. He's probably the best play out of the wide receivers, bar none.
I wish he was on the Jaguars just so I could jag off to Richard Matthews.
That's the weirdest thing to wish for ever.
Yeah, he would be getting passes from Bortles. He sucks. Instead
or
of
not, he'd be getting one hot passes from Bortles. Like fuck that.
Yeah.
Horse shit. Yeah, and you're playing Murray, of course. Delaney Walker, Don. You're playing him. And that about wraps that up.
Hey guys, I know this is semi-irrelevant, but I got a friend that's asking, if you had to start Delaney Walker or Jimmy Graham, who would you start?
I think I hate your friend.
Yeah, your friend sounds like a bitch, dude.
Make a decision, you fucking loser.
I always do. They're just always wrong.
We'll talk about Jimmy Graham a little bit later on. Let's go to the Bears side with Matt Barkley at the helm, and Zach Miller also broke his foot. He's out for the season.
Oh, yeah.
There's not like a single person to play in the pass game.
No,
I think the one question is, would you play Jordan Howard?
Yes, I actually have put aside here that, like, even though, like, Tennessee's run D's pretty good and all that, like, they literally don't have anything else. Like, you have to play him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get 15 to 18 touches, and he's good. I mean,
yeah.
He's not Jeremy Langford. He's actually a good running back. So
also, when they were behind in the Giants game, he saw 8 targets but only caught 1. That's due for some positive regression there. So if they do get down in this game, which we do expect, he's probably going to be involved in the passing game as well.
Good call.
Yeah, and he's got a better quarterback in now. So.
Whew.
Oh yeah, that's true.
No, Matt Barkley
Jesus
is.
Christ.
Dude, you're a better quarterback than Matt Barkley, Don. You should go out
He's
there.
Terrible.
I would, but it's Chicago. I can't play for them.
That's true.
I'd turn down.
Can we also all agree that the Titans defense is a very good stream play this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. All right, guys, let's pick this one. Vinny, who you got?
Titans, please.
Don?
Can I say a tie?
I don't actually think so for this one.
Yeah.
I got Tennessee by far.
All right, cool. I'm taking Tennessee as well. Let's move on to Jacksonville at Buffalo. Buffalo's a big favorite here, 7.5 points. Low over under of 45.5. On the Jacksonville side of the ball, we thought Bortles was a great streamer. At least I did this past week. That did not work out. He was very, very bad. And like that's kind of what you're dealing with Blake Bortles. Like you've got the upside of just him just being like a garbage time hero, and you've got the downside of him just not being able to do anything at all. So I don't know. Is Bortles a play at all for you guys? Don, I'll start with you at Buffalo.
Hell no.
Okay, Vinny.
I second that.
All right. I was going to say I don't want to play him either, but do Allen Robinson and Marquise Lee strike your fancy?
Robinson's been getting more fantasy production, so that's like I wouldn't be like super thrilled about it, but I'd be okay with playing him. I think he's going to be like a mid-level wide receiver 2.
Yeah, if anything, the targets are still there, and I think he still has a lot of touchdown upside too, despite the fact. Like I think if anyone scores a touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars in this game, it's probably going to be Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. I think I'm willing to play Marquise Lee as well. He actually out-targeted Allen Robinson 8-7 this past week. And he's clearly Bortles', second guy behind Robinson, which doesn't carry a ton of value. But I think in PPR leagues, he's a guy you can start and expect, like 11 points sort of out of him. Something like a 6-catch, 50-yard day or something like that.
I'll take the under on that for some beer.
Okay. Yeah. We'll set the line at 11. I'll take the over.
Yep.
Well, she's
PPR points.
a little me like a beer, dude.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm aware of that. I'll get it to you.
I'll hold it to you.
Yeah. No, you can. I'll see you at some point and buy you beer. I don't know when.
Oh, word.
I'm actually going to spend the rest of my life avoiding you, Don, so I never have to tell you that.
Actually, if you can just set up a time where me, you, and Kyle can just get mimosas, I'll take that instead.
Yes. We'll get mimosas. I will give you lots of mimosas. All right. Chris Ivory got 6 catches that last week. Is that something we need to concern ourselves with or get on Chris Ivory, or is it just kind of like Gus Bradley sort of just flips a coin and to decide which running back is going to get work that week?
He could be a great play this week just based on volume because TJ Yeldon suffered that ankle injury, and I haven't really been able to find an update on that, so it kind of makes me think the worst of it. But at the very least, he's a volume play for this week.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, if keep an eye out on Yeldon as the week progresses. It is Tuesday night as we're recording this, guys, so we may get some news to the contrary at some point, but just keep an eye on it. So let's move to the Buffalo side of the ball. Even though they're 7.5-point favorites, I feel like there really isn't much to talk about here outside of Shady. I mean, you're playing Shady as long as he goes, right? Or is he out this week?
As long as he goes.
Yeah. The thumb thing keeps changing by the day. That's surprising because Rex Ryan usually handles injury information well.
But then you play Gillisley, though, right? If McCoy's out.
Oh yeah, of course. Any starting running back for the Bills is a go on your team as long as
this is not Reggie Bush.
Yes, as long as it's not Reggie Bush.
And then in the passing game, Robert Woods is seeming doubtful to go this week after he got hurt. He was actually on pace for a nice game this past week before he got hurt, which I was pissed about. I had
whatever.
My highest scoring DFS lineup, dude, had AJ Green, Theo Riddick, Shady, and Robert Woods. And it was my highest scoring lineup. So I killed it outside of that. And I was like, oh, what could have been? But yeah, what can you do?
I feel like this gets every 6-7 weeks. It's just do you play Robert Woods? Just at this point, no, it's just not even worth it.
So do you want to try and predict any of the rest of the pass catchers here? Do you want to play Percy Harvin, Don?
I'm not really a future teller here, but no, I really don't want to play Percy Harvin at all.
As we record the podcast where we're supposed to be making predictions.
Right, Don. We are future tellers. We know all.
Yes, but we are psychics.
There also have been Rex Ryan rumblings of Sammy Watkins coming back. Possibly.
Yeah, Rex Ryan talks out of his ass 98% of the time.
I'm just saying it's out there, and
So are you enticed to play Sammy Watkins?
Fuck no. I'm just saying, like, it makes everybody unplayable.
Ugh.
All right, so we don't know who the fuck to play on Buffalo, and at this point in the week, we are saying don't play any of them except for the running backs, basically. All right, who you guys taking here, Vinny?
Bills.
Yeah, I say don't play anyone on the Bills, but pick the Bills.
All right, fair enough. I'm taking the Bills as well. Cincinnati at Baltimore. This is a gross game. We saw Cincinnati really, really get fucked this past week with Gio tearing his ACL, AJ Green tearing his hamstring, though apparently he might not miss the whole season now. It's just a small tear. I don't know. It's still early in the week. Vinny, talk to me about Cincinnati, both the injury news and then what to think for this week in a bad matchup against Baltimore.
I don't want to talk about the Bengals anymore, man. They're bad. They're bad again.
Who wants Brandon LaFell? I currently have him. I'm selling him high.
That's a good call, Don.
Yeah, def sell high on Brandon LaFell.
But the injury news for AJ Green, it's a little bit murky. So it's apparently a strained hamstring instead of a torn one. So that's good. He gets to come back at the end of a season of a losing season. Thumbs up for that. That's sweet. Gio Bernard is done for the season with the torn ACL. That is terrible. And the immediate replacements for these guys, with AJ Green out, Brandon LaFell is probably going to see the number one wide receiver spot, and then Tyler Boyd on the outside. They kind of both evened out. Brandon LaFell had 9 targets last week. Tyler Boyd had 8. I think the floor play, if you're going to do any of these guys, is Brandon LaFell, and I think the upside play is Tyler Boyd. I still think Boyd has a lot of potential, and he might not see as intense coverage as Brandon LaFell, as intense as it would get because he's still Brandon LaFell in this game. But they kind of both become interesting plays if you're in a lot of trouble in leagues. And the guy for Gio Bernard, if you're really hurting at running back, will be Rex Burkhead. He has seen some snaps like throughout his career in the backfield, and he's just kind of that backup role to Gio Bernard. So that's a really bad play, but if you're really hurting or in a
against Baltimore, do not play that.
Hey, well, if they're going to stuff Jeremy Hill, then something's going to go to the outside to Burkhead, possibly.
Or they'll just stuff Burkhead, too.
Yeah, or the Bengals just lose and score no points. That's also another fact.
I'm leaning towards that one, to be honest. The Bengals score like a field goal, but they won't even do that because Mike Nugent sucks.
Oh, God. They should just sign Blair Walsh.
Yeah, right.
See what happens.
Get Cousin Blair on the squad.
Oh, God.
It's tough. I mean, Jeremy Hill, I think, is going to be a nice play the rest of the year. This isn't the week for it. The same thing with like potentially Boyd and LaFell. I think this is bad for Eifert overall because it closes down the field. Like it just the area in which he operates is now much tighter. So any increase in volume is not going to make up for that in my head. But I don't know. I wouldn't play anyone on the Bengals this week. On the Baltimore side, first of all, again, I got to ask this for a friend. Would you rather play Dixon or West?
Your friend also sucks, Walsh.
Yeah, I know, dude. So gross.
Just play West. It's been a bunch of coach talk about getting
man,
Dixon.
I'm not a future teller.
His snaps have been increasing each week, Dixon.
That's coach talk.
But that's real. That's something that's been happening.
Coach talk, Walsh. That's goddamn coach talk. No, I mean, it
up.
really has every single week, but it's nothing like. There's nothing telling like that he's even good right now.
They had the exact same week this past week, except West got the touchdown. So I don't know. Whatever. Let's stop talking about that. Is Steve Smith a good play here, and is Mike Wallace a good play?
I would play Steve Smith over Mike Wallace. I think Steve Smith is kind of back in the saddle right now.
I'm back.
But I know you guys have your certain opinion with Steve Smith, but
yeah, I mean that dude sucks, but Mike Wallace and Steve Smith, yeah, I would still play both of those guys. Actually, they're going to see a bunch of targets.
Yeah, the Bengals defense hasn't been good, so I think you can play both of them. Is there anyone else on the Ravens we need to talk about?
Dennis Pitta.
No.
Oh God.
Just kidding. I
just
wanted to
see the whole Ray Lewis talking trash to Flacco?
No, I didn't see
I
that.
did not
See
see
it?
that, Don.
What, neither of you?
Enlighten us.
This
No.
is just kind of like a joke to bring up, but yeah, he came out like and was saying how Joe Flacco is a talented guy, but is not a team leader, and talking all this trash, and like
He's not even
everyone.
talented.
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa, man! He
Ray
won a
Lewis
Super
also
Bowl.
sounds like Tiki Barber talking shit about Eli Manning right now. How about he grows the fuck up?
Yeah, it was like one of those, and like everyone from like Baltimore was just like, "Whoa, Ray Lewis, like take a chill pill." And then Ray Lewis came out with like an apology.
I'm so sorry.
Ray Lewis apologized for saying something mean. He killed somebody.
Apologize.
Allegedly.
I'm very
Yeah, you
sorry.
can't.
Yeah. We
Bro,
don't
dude,
want to.
we're not future. We're future tellers, not past tellers, man. That's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, dude. I don't see
That's
the
not a
past. I only
fact.
see the future.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the fuck off this game too. Jeez, I've said that way too many times tonight.
You kind of have to.
I'm gonna take Baltimore.
Oh,
I
yeah,
refuse.
I'm taking Baltimore too.
I fucking refuse. So this is going to be a tie for me.
Dude, we literally could line up as Bengals this week.
The Bengals are gonna be so bad in this game.
They might
Dude.
hold that. You guys watch Invincible where they opened up, anyone in Philly can try out for the Philly because we suck so bad.
Mark
Cincinnati
Wahlberg is lining up for the Bengals this week. Is that what you're telling me,
You
Don?
might see Mark Wahlberg line up as a Cincinnati Bengal this week.
Probably have more catches than LaFell.
Don's crystal ball in front
Yeah,
of him.
I'm selling them high.
Marky Mark's face coming up there. All right, so let's get off that game. Let's move on to the last one before we take a quick break. Arizona at Atlanta. Atlanta's a 4-point favorite at home. This one's a pretty high over-under 50.5. On the Arizona side, I mean, we say it each week, but like there's two guys here, and it's David Johnson and it's Fitz, and I don't know if I want to play anyone else. Don, do you have any interest in trying to predict those other receivers?
Absolutely not, dude. Carson Palmer is just a big waste this year. Fitzgerald is just solid, but other than that, I'm not going to try to figure out what receiver to play or not. David Johnson is good.
Yeah.
That's solid analysis. Vinny, you got anything to add there?
No way. Don nailed that.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the Falcons.
I'll read your palms, too.
Vinny, what do you think about Devontae Freeman this week?
Pull him out.
Cool.
I mean, there's really not much else. I think Tevin Coleman's coming back, right? Like, he'll be active this game, hopefully.
He should be. Yeah, he should be active, but I think Devontae's still the play there. Would you roll out Coleman at all?
No, I would not. The hamstring injury is always a little sketchy, so they're probably not going to want to force him into too much there. I think Freeman is a much better play, even though Arizona's defense is pretty good.
Yeah, but they've been more vulnerable against the run than the pass, so I think this could be like a big game for Freeman. I'm very interested in him. What about Ryan and Julio against this elite Arizona pass defense? You'd think Patrick Peterson is going to shadow Julio. Don, is there any reason to consider not playing Julio or Ryan, or are you just kind of rolling them out and tempering expectations?
I'm rolling out Julio for show. I guess I was wrong about Matt Ryan. Whatever.
I think everybody was.
No, I'll still roll Matt Ryan this week.
Vinny?
Yeah, that doesn't change for me. I still think he's possibly the best quarterback play no matter what every week.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been so good, like ridiculously good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is a game where Devontae could just get like 3 touchdowns and like Ryan ends up with none of them, but I don't know. If you own Matt Ryan, you're probably playing him. There's probably not really a better option out there for you. And how can you really sit Julio even with Patrick Peterson there? Vinny, who you got here?
I'm going to take Atlanta.
Don?
Atlanta.
Yeah, same for me. We'll sweep that. Let's take a quick break, guys. We'll hear from our sponsor, No Halftime, and then we'll be right back with the rest of the games.
Dude, I literally envisioned Colvin and his purring ass in a fucking Atlanta Falcons uniform running. And I couldn't stop fucking laughing
Oh my god.
with his fucking broken arm cast that he wore down to fucking DC sophomore year. Oh my god.
All right, let's let's keep going here.
Jeez.
All right, welcome back, guys. That was our sponsor, No Halftime. Make sure you're getting on there. It's a great app, a lot of fun to play on each week. So make sure you're getting some games in on there. All right, let's talk about San Francisco at Miami. Miami somehow is a 7.5-point favorite here. I think there are 2 plays in this game, and only 2. I would not play anyone outside of these 2. And I think they're Colin Kaepernick and Jay Ajayi.
Whoa, dude.
Vinny, what do you think in terms of this game? Are there any other plays outside of those 2?
I like Cap as a streamer. Jay Ajayi will again, well, not again, but he will be the best running back play of the week going against the 49ers shit run defense. Man. I suck. I still like Jarvis Landry.
No.
I'm so fucking biased and I can't stop. Like that's just I can't.
I'm officially off him, dude. I'm over it.
Fuck.
Don, what do you think here?
Well, Chip Kelly just said that they're centering the whole offense around Carlos Hyde now. And I know Miami has a tough run defense, but I'm still
I could
cool with playing
not
Hyde.
give less of a shit about what Chip Kelly says.
You just said Rex Ryan talks out of his ass, and Chip Kelly is the guy you're taking information from that sold an entire team and then demolished them.
Yep.
Oh man. Thank you, Don. You
I think Carlos Hyde is a very bad play this week. I would not play him to be on the record saying that. I mean, I guess you can trust what Chip Kelly says there. Whatever you want to do, Don. I don't care. It's your life. Do we have anything else for this game?
No.
No, I'll just go fuck myself.
Sorry. That was pretty – I apologize. All right, I'm taking Miami here. Don, who you got? You going to trust Chip Kelly that he's going to win?
Yeah, I'm going to take Chip Kelly's fucking true-telling ass all the way down to Miami and kicking their ass.
Ugh. Go Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. Los Angeles and New Orleans. These games, like we've gotten a lot of like not fun games here.
No, dude, I want to just say a tie for every single game this week.
This one is not going to be a tie. Well, you never know with Jeff Fisher. All right, Los Angeles and New Orleans. New Orleans at home. They're a 7-point favorite. We know the Rams' defense is pretty good. Let's start on the Rams side. Is there anyone on their offense that you're looking to play? I mean, I guess Gurley, right? Don, you love Gurley. Tell me about him.
Yeah, he's pretty cute, man. I mean, at this point, especially because what Goff is in now, I would probably just stick to Gurley. I think that's your only like bet out of that all. I wouldn't trust anyone passing wise. We don't really know what we're going to see with Goff yet, so Gurley's my only play.
Okay, that's fair. Vinny, you on anyone in the passing game?
No one in the passing game. I can't be. Just Goff just wasn't throwing like deep in. Like it was just like a typical first start. I think just kind of trying to get a feel for it, but it just did not look very enticing for fantasy reasons at all.
I think you could play Kenny Britt. Am I like way off base there?
No, not entirely. I mean, he'll have a floor. Like he got the most targets out of anybody. He still had 5 catches, 40 yards. I mean, I guess
if you're going to play anyone, it would have to be.
Yeah. I think it's Kenny Britt there.
Okay. And then on the New Orleans side of the ball, we love New Orleans at home always.
Yeah.
Is this just a play everyone, or I mean, the running back situation is really weird. I don't know. Vinny, talk to me first about Breeze and the wide receivers, and then let's touch on the running backs as well.
Play Breeze no matter what. He's at home. Doesn't score less than 22 points at home ever. He's awesome. The running backs are very, very confusing. You got Mark Ingram and Tim Hightower. I know last week I said you couldn't play both, and if you did, you probably still had another decent week out of both of them. So it's been very hard to predict, and I still lean Ingram on that. I think he'll get the benefit of the doubt.
If he's healthy?
Yeah, if he's healthy and get the start and stuff. For the pass catchers, this is A little tough. I mean, the Rams D has been pretty good against pass catchers, but I think the
Clearly.
best play out of yeah, I mean, you can always play all three for their different reasons, I think. But I think the best play out of those three this week will be Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. I think Thomas is the safest play, but you can probably do all three. I don't know how to read these running backs, and I don't own either of them anywhere, so I have a tough time really getting an opinion on that. We saw Hightower actually get more snaps than Ingram this past week. The week before, Ingram got more snaps and more work. I don't know. I don't really care. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Don, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. I really don't know running back wise too, but I think if Ingram's out, I would lean towards Hightower to pick up and play.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. If it's only going to be one of them, then you have to play that one.
and sit Fleener's bitch ass. That guy, my God.
If you
I
were
mean,
playing Fleener, you're a bitch ass yourself.
he's been dropped. He should have been dropped like 5 weeks ago at this point. So yeah, definitely agree there. Um, anything else, Don? Is Thomas your favorite wide receiver too?
Uh, yeah, I guess so. I would say
All right,
that.
cool. I'm going to take New Orleans. Who you got?
New
No,
Orleans.
sweep.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the Giants at the Browns. Um, the Giants are a 7-point road favorite, which is ridiculous. Rashad Jennings has been like good. Is that a thing? Is that true? Yes,
He's
he's
been
been good.
really good, man. I think this is if you haven't been playing him, which I wouldn't blame you if you haven't been, because you probably weren't buying into it. But I think this would be the time to play him against the Browns.
Yeah, I would be playing him. Don, talk to me about the pass game. What do you think about Eli, Odell, Sterling Shepard, and then Will Tye?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a great time to play these guys because, one, Odell you have to play every week, especially against Cleveland Browns. You got Sterling Shepard, who has, I believe, 24 targets in the past 3 weeks, and he's had a touchdown in every single one. Um, he's only catching like half of his targets, though, but he still pulled down a touchdown in every single one. So I think just for on upside, you have to play Sterling Shepard. Um, as for Ty, I think that would be a good person to pick up on the roulette, especially against Cleveland. So I'm fine with that. He's had a pretty decent floor for the past few weeks, and a lot of targets himself with 20 in the past 3 weeks. It's a lot.
It's a decent amount. Yeah, I don't think that's the worst idea. On the Brown side of the ball, it looks like McCown is going to play quarterback. What do you think about, I guess, Pryor? And then is Gary Barnage usable with McCown? We know they like, we know they like him as a target.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
say,
cool with Barnage.
yeah, bring Barnage back into your lineup if you can stream him, and then I think Pryor you're cool to play. I think if you're playing a Brown and you're doing it every week, it might as well be Pryor.
Yeah, I
Word.
mean, Pryor's had 39 targets in the past 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's just really good too. Like he's big and he's fast and he's really good.
He's
Yeah.
sick athletic. Yeah.
All right, is there any reason to talk about the running backs, Vinny?
I don't think so.
Me neither. Who you got here, Don?
I'll just go Giants.
Trap game. Browns get their first win.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Browns too. I picked them last week to get their first win over the Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick them every week until they win, I think.
Not against the Bengals though, right?
No, definitely against the Bengals.
Yeah, I think that could probably be the first win. Oh, fucking kill me.
All right. A couple more left here. We got Seattle at Tampa Bay. Even on the road again, Seattle's a big favorite. I feel like that's a theme this week, like a lot of road favorites because a lot of home teams are bad this week. Tampa Bay's pass defense has been bad. Their run defense also hasn't been good. And then the big news here is that CJ Procise is out indefinitely. Thomas Rawls, Alex Collins will be in the backfield. And we saw Rawls actually be pretty decent. I believe 14 carries, 50-something yards, and a few targets in the pass game. So, Don, talk to me about the Seahawks offense, who you're looking to play, and then are you trusting Rawls coming off this injury with what we saw last week?
I think this is something you got to follow up with. But I think this is the week, especially with Process being done, that you should follow it because I would play him if he's good to go. Um, I like pretty much everyone for Seattle, including Doug Baldwin, Russell Wilson, and Jimmy Graham. Um, what do you guys think about Lockett?
No.
Nah.
Yeah, no.
No?
He's like, no, that's not something you do this year.
I'm just asking, man.
You don't play Tyler Lockett in 2016, dude.
I'm just asking you, dude.
All right, fine.
Question.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it. It's Wilson, it's Baldwin, it's Graham, it's Rawls. On the Bucs side, Seahawks defense is tough to target. Obviously, Jameis isn't a guy, but Vinny, is there anyone there that you're looking to play this week?
I think Doug Martin's going to see a lot of work. I mean, we saw him get over 20 touches against a tough Chiefs defense and still got some pretty good fantasy points out of it. So I think they'll lean on him no matter what. So at least the volume will be there. And I think the volume will also be there for Mike Evans, even though it necessarily won't pan out for both of them. You still got to take that chance with their talent level and the fact that they're going to get targeted and get a bunch of touches. So those are the only two guys I would play.
Yeah, I very much agree. I think you're dead on there. I don't have anything else to add. Don, do you?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, who are you taking here? Don?
I am going to take Seattle.
Vinny?
Yeah, I'll take Seattle too, but I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Fair enough. I'm going to take Seattle as well. So let's move on to Carolina at Oakland. Oakland's a slight favorite here, 3.5 points. The over-under is 49. Carolina is, I mean, we talked about it 2 weeks ago where we were like, maybe Ted Ginn, but for the most part, Carolina's pretty easy to decipher. Is there any outside of the box play on Carolina this week, Vinny, or is it just your normal guys?
I think it's the normal guys. I mean, you said Ted Ginn last week, and that kind of paid off. He almost had 2 touchdowns, but he settled for the 1. Would you roll him against like a shoddy Oakland defense?
I'd consider it. I mean, Oakland has struggled against small, fast receivers more so than big physical ones, just because their corners are big physical guys. So I don't think it's the worst play that you could make. I don't think it's the best play that you could make. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. And then what do you think about the rest of the guys, the Cam Stewart, Benji, and Olsons?
Just lock them down. Those guys should be played every week.
Cool. Don, you got anything else to add on the Panthers?
No, I think that's hit him right on the head there.
What's your Ginn opinion?
Dude, I mean, I guess Oakland is the team you would want to play it against with their secondary not being as good. I'm okay with it if you want to play him in a flex this week. Okay,
cool. And then, we've seen the Carolina secondary really, really struggle this year. Am I safe saying Carr, Cooper, and Crabtree, you're just like locking and loading and waiting for a huge game from all of them?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then what do you guys think about Latavius? His workload went down a little bit, and he didn't get the touchdowns, weirdly enough. But in PPR, he still managed 5 catches. Don, I know you're a big Latavius owner.
Yeah.
What's your opinion this week?
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, I think what salvaged him was that he got quite a few dumps on there, so that does give his value for PPR status. I still roll him. I think he's still the number 1 back. I was pissed, though. There's 2 times that they pulled him off goal line, especially when he rushed to the 1, and then they just pulled him out. I was pretty pissed about that. So that's – especially because that's normally where Latavius Murray is utilized. So, but I still roll him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Vinny, you got anything to add?
No, I completely agree.
All right, cool. Who you guys taking here, Vinny?
Oakland.
It's funny. Oakland is actually their only 2 losses have been at home. I'm sorry, Walsh. I'm going to go Carolina.
That's okay.
It's like the Falcons, and who was the other one?
It was the Chiefs. So it was 2 tough teams.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to take Oakland just because I'm very, very biased. Kansas City at Denver, another important AFC West game. So this one, Denver is a slight favorite at home. Very low over-under, though, 39.5. We don't know if Jeremy Maclin is going to be back. Does that matter for any of the plays here? So Vinny, talk to me about the Kansas City passing game, whether it's, Maclin, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, those sorts of guys. Do you think there's any value against Denver's stout pass defense?
It's a little tough, especially for the wide receivers, because I don't know on a normal day which one to play, let alone with Jeremy Maclin out. So I would sit all those dudes no matter what, and then Travis Kelce becomes the best play in that offense, I think, other than Ware, because Travis Kelce has been seeing an uptick in targets big time, and he's really been kind of picking up his stuff as of late. Bless you, Don.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a sneeze. I was like, why did Don just make that noise?
That's actually when my future telling kicks in and I pull like that still Raven and I just see something and I just zone out for a second.
Did you see who's going to win the Super Bowl, Don?
I just future told.
All right, what does the future say about Spencer Ware in this game, Don?
Oh, I didn't see that site there.
My bad.
Spencer Ware. That's a good question. I mean, it now looks like him and West are kind of competing for each other, but I don't know. Denver's these tough. I'd still roll Spencer Ware. Hope for the best.
Yeah, the way Denver's been vulnerable is through the run, and Ware's definitely the dude there. I don't care. I don't care how much they mix. Yeah, I don't care how much they mix Weston. It's still Ware.
Either way, I think he always gets a solid floor, even if it's not outstanding play.
Yes. Yeah, very, very much agreed there. I think Tyreek Hill is mildly interesting because he's not really used like a regular wide receiver, so I don't know how Denver would handle him. I don't know if he's a guy that you want to like plug into your lineups in season long, but maybe in daily, like a tournament, he's, would be very low owned. On the Denver side of the ball, again, this is a team that's like real easy, and it's just Booker, Sander, and Thomas.
Yep. Every single week.
Are you good with Devontae Booker this week? I mean, Kansas City's run defense is pretty good.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it. They're at home. I mean, they're a favorite. I think he's going to get his 15 to 18 touches and do just fine with that.
That's how Denver plays it too. They're not looking to throw all over you, especially against the Chiefs' great defense. So. Yeah,
they move their wide receivers around enough too where, we talk about it every week, but Marcus Peters is the best corner on this offense. He's been banged up recently, but even if he plays, like they move their guys around enough that neither of them are going to see him the entire game, and he doesn't shadow. So you can play both of them pretty safely. You guys have anything else to add on the Denver side?
That's it.
All right, Don, who you got here?
I will go Denver.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Chiefs too in the upset special. All right, let's move on to the Sunday night game. The Patriots at the Jets, continuing our trend of heavy road favorites. The Patriots are an 8-point favorite. So even with the Patriots as a big favorite, is this the week to sit Blunt? Because we know the Jets' run defense is very good and their pass defense fucking sucks. Are you sitting Blunt, Vinny, or are you just riding him?
I think you just kind of ride him out. Oh, man, because we've seen against a tough opponent like Seattle against the run where Blunt can come out of that game with 3 touchdowns and it makes no fucking sense. So I would leave him in no matter what, or else you're going to be punching yourself in the dick when he gets 3 touchdowns.
Don't punch yourself in the dick. Play Blunt.
Okay, that you guys convinced me. With that being said, would you still be at all interested in James White or Dion Lewis? I think I'm gonna have to play Dion Lewis this week.
Yo, just roll Dion Lewis.
Fuck you, Don. James White outsnapped him, outplayed him, out everything.
Dude, he just got back, man.
Let me finish my thought, Don. Would you play him thinking like that? He's probably gonna see an uptick in everything in the second week back.
Yes. That's pretty much it.
I future told. So, and that's what I saw. I saw Dion Lewis slashing for 2 touchdowns this week.
I'm banking on him getting, heavier snaps. He did get 5 targets in that game, so I like that. I think he got 5 carries as well. I mean, like if he touches the ball 15 times, he's dynamic enough where I think he can really do something pretty impressive in that game. Whereas James White is kind of just a guy.
You're a guy. Shut up.
I am a guy.
Yes, you are. Me too. I was I was going to bring up something I thought was pretty interesting. Like two great coaches like Bruce Arians and Bill Belichick go up against the San Francisco 49ers, who have the worst run D in the world, and they don't run their dude at all, and they start passing like crazy. Isn't that like the weirdest fucking thing? Like we banked on that so hard. Like Blunt was going to have a huge game. David Johnson was going to have a huge game. And it's just like nothing happened for either of those dudes.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, Blunt had a lot of yardage, and like he really tore him up. Like I watched that game. He definitely like gashed them
Yeah.
hard, but
And they just stopped.
yeah, I don't know. What can you do? Um, let's talk about the pass game there. I mean, Brady's an obvious start, but the rest of the targets, it's looking like Gronk is expected to be back. We saw Malcolm Mitchell have a big week with Chris Hogan out. Edelman had a pretty decent week. I don't know. Don, what are you thinking about these pass targets?
Yeah, I mean, they're going against the Jets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's the time, and Belichick loves embarrassing the Jets.
Yes.
So, Gronk, Edelman, roll them. I think they're going to have big weeks.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get too cute with anybody else, so I'd probably roll out Edelman and Gronk too.
That's fair. I think if Hogan is out, again, maybe Malcolm Mitchell is an interesting one because the Jets do get beat deep and he's going to be their deep threat. But, that's like very deep league, like really stretching to find a play. On the Jets side of the ball, I think I only want to play Brandon Marshall. Am I wrong there? Do you have interest in the running backs too?
I'll play Forte.
Yeah, I would still roll out Forte. I think actually both of them are probably playable because Forte will get the early work and hopefully carve something out like a decent day, and then Powell will be catching up because he'll probably see a decent PPR day with them being down to the Patriots here.
Fair enough. And it's worth noting that Fitzpatrick is going to be the starter again this week. They're going back to him because they are indecisive and a bad team. Is there anything else to talk about with the Jets, you guys?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither. Vinny, who do you got?
Taking New England. I'm really glad this got flexed out.
Don?
Yeah, no, New England.
Oh, wait, it's not the Sunday night game, is it?
No, it's not. It got flexed out for
Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's super way better. Yeah, I'm taking New England too. All right, Green Bay at Philadelphia is the Monday night game.
Dear God.
Philly is the favorite here. They're a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under here is 47.5. The news for Philly is that Sproles and Matthews both got hurt. Sproles is likely to play despite the fact that he has like a broken rib. They were like, oh, it's in a safe spot where he can still repeatedly get hit in the ribs for an entire so I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Matthews has some sort of MCL deal, I believe, and they're listing him as day-to-day, saying he's going to be a game-time decision.
I think he's unlikely as of now.
Oh, he is? Okay.
So.
The only issue with this is that it's a Monday night game. So, like, is Smallwood the pickup if you don't own Matthews or only if you do own Matthews?
I would definitely scoop up Smallwood. Dude, Green Bay's running
I don't think
defense is so
I don't think it matters, man.
So Smallwood's going to get enough work even if Matthews is active, is what you're saying?
No. If Matthews isn't playing, I would roll Smallwood, but I would pick him up just in case.
But we're not going to know if Matthews is going to play till Monday night is the issue. So if you don't have Matthews on your roster.
I would scoop him up just in case. And then and then we find out so if you don't have Matthews,
don't play this. If you don't have Matthews, don't play this game.
Don't play the scenario. But if you have Matthews, make sure you scoop up Smallwood, and then if Matthews doesn't play, you play Smallwood.
Okay, totally. No, I think you're right. I was just trying to clarify that. So then, is Sproles potentially a play? I mean, Green Bay's defense.
I would play Sproles, especially because their pass defense is fucking horrible. Their run defense is definitely not much better. Their ranking rush defense is skewed because they had a very good start to the season. For the past few weeks, they've just absolutely been fucking ran on, passed on, and everything else. So I would play Sproles for sure.
To be fair, though, with that skew, like they've just kind of been getting run at, and then all of a sudden, like a big run is broken. So I don't really think Philly's going to be that kind of team that would be doing that. But if Matthews is out, that's definitely
But
not the case
the
there.
good thing is, though, we do have Clay Matthews back, too. So
Yeah, that should help. And then in the past game, I mean, the two guys who have been playable for the Eagles have been Matthews and Ertz. Jordan
play them.
Matthews. Ertz has really picked up his targets, so you're cool with both of them?
You have to roll them.
Yeah,
I agree.
especially what's been happening to the Green Bay secondary.
Dude, I mean, our secondary's always been not very good, but it's so injury-ridden on top of it. You're going against safety cones out there.
Yeah, very much agreed. So if we're playing these guys, I do have to ask, any interest in Wentz?
No.
If you're a Phillip Rivers owner, I would sit Phillip Rivers and play Wentz.
It's a real shining endorsement.
I mean, listen, we said sit Rivers, right? Rivers has been a pretty decent fantasy option. If that's your guy, you need to pick up someone, and Wentz is on the waivers. I'd play him.
That's true. I do feel like there aren't really a ton of great streaming options this week. So you know what? Maybe Wentz is an option. Then again, I thought he was 2 weeks ago, and he put up like 7 fantasy points. So who knows? On the Packers side, Dom, talk to me about this team. Their pass game looked real good last week.
Yeah. Jordy Nelson's been racking in touchdowns. So play
that wasn't
Jordy
a touchdown. He did not catch that.
Well, the officials said it was, and they're always right.
Don can see the past.
I just say how it is, man. So anyway, whether it's a touchdown or not, it was counted a touchdown, and he's been pulling in touchdowns. So Jordy Nelson's a play. Devontae Adams has been great this year, other than the few drops he had last week, which made him look like a regular Devontae Adams. He's been a really big target for Aaron Rodgers. That's another person you play. The interesting one is Randall Cobb. I would still hope for – it's Monday night and it's Aaron Rodgers, and as much as Packers have sucked, if they've been down, they're doing a lot of garbage time, and Rodgers been slinging it. So even though Philly defense is tough, I'm probably still playing all 3 receivers. I'm playing Rodgers. I'm playing James Starks because he actually has been involved in the passing game, and they need to break it up quite a bit. So I'm still playing those guys. Just I wouldn't play like Jared Cook and get cute with anything like that.
Dude, Cook did have a huge game this past week.
But he really fucked up with the fumble.
Yeah.
Philly's very good against the tight end, though, so I would not go to Jared Cook.
Okay, that's fair. I very much agree with you. I was just making a counterpoint, I guess. Are you at all concerned about the Christian Michael signing? You know, he wasn't active this past week. That's maybe with another week of practice.
I mean, that's something you got to look into for now. But James Starks is a guy that's very well acclimated to the system. He's been with Packers for a long time, so I don't think Christian Michael's his second weekend going to be taking all of this away from James Starks. So, and again, James Starks is someone that does play in the passing game for Rodgers too. So I still think James Starks is the play.
Yeah, well said, Don. I really think that that Green Bay has been trying to work in some kind of power back system with Eddie Lacy over the last couple of years, and really they've been seeing much more production out of using a pass catching back like James Starks, even Ty Montgomery at times. So I agree with playing Starks big time.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think I'm with you guys on that. I think you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head. So let's wrap it up for this week, guys. With Don, you have a Thanksgiving treat of the week.
Yes, Brock Osweiler, you've made DeAndre Hopkins a mid to low end third receiver, and you're making me complain a lot more than I should, and I complain a lot. You, sir, are the Thanksgiving treat of the week. You, Mark Sanchez, acting ass bitch.
That's gonna be my new go-to insult. Mark Sanchez acting ass bitch.
Thanksgiving, Mark Sanchez.
All right, guys.
Also, I picked Green Bay to win.
Oh yeah,
we didn't do that. Okay, I'm gonna take. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna take Green Bay.
Sorry, dudes. I'm gonna take Philly here.
All right, so that's gonna do it. You have your Thanksgiving treat of the week. It's Brock Osweiler, that Thanksgiving Mark Sanchez acting ass bitch. I can't say that fast. I got to say it slow.
You just got to practice, man. You'll get it.
That's gonna do it, guys. So we'll wrap it up. You guys enjoy Thanksgiving. It's gonna be fun, hopefully. And yeah, that's about it for Vinny and Don. I'm Walsh. Later, podcast.